It's my life now. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. This is the day that God has made.
I'm glad that you're tuned in here. It just makes my heart just sing when I know that everybody is joined in across the planet with us, right? Whether you're here in San Diego or across the country or across the globe, that we're joined in together knowing our oneness. And here's what I want to say. Don't go away. Stay here for the next hour because we have amazing talk for you. We have wonderful music. We are here to uplift you and to hold you in that light of love and joy and just knowing that we are one in spirit, you know? I just want to let you know I love you. Yeah, I know. And you're sitting back there thinking, well, she doesn't even know me. How can she love me? But you know what? There's an awful lot of people around who hate people without knowing them. So I think we ought to be the antidote to that, don't you think? I love you from my heart to yours. So let's pray in. I give great thanks for this day, for everything in it, knowing and accepting that there is one life. Just like this song says, there is just one life. It is God's life. It is whole, perfect, and complete. It is our life right here, right now. And we know and accept that our life is one individualization of the energy which is God. We know that that energy which can neither be created nor destroyed, it simply changes form. We know that we are that. And all life is that. Everything in the outpicturing world, everything in the manifest universe is the body of God. It is that natural and logical outpicturing of this energy which just loves itself into form. And we are that. The very earth that we walk upon is holy ground. It is the body of God. So we come together to remember that, to remember it for ourselves and for others, so that when we pass each other in this thing called life, we know, we recognize that this too is God. And so it is. Amen. So glad that you're here. Stay, get comfortable. Like I said, go dash out to the kitchen right now. Get that second cup of coffee and get comfortable because we have a wonderful celebration for you this morning. We also, I want you to know, we have licensed practitioners standing by always. They are available by phone. They are available on the internet. You can go to the Vision website, which is www.visioncsl.org, and you can find the practitioner page with practitioner names and phone numbers and give them a call and say, I want prayer. And that's what they do. They pray with you and for you all the time. There's also a prayer request form on our website. You can fill it out and send it in electronically, and we will send you back written prayer in your email. However you would like to be served in prayer, we are here to serve you. At the end of the celebration, we're going to have a meet and greet room. We'll be on Zoom, where you can come in, drop in, say hi, and also get one-on-one prayer in one of our little breakout rooms with a practitioner. So however you would like to be served in prayer, we are here to serve you. We know that prayer changes things, absolutely changes things. So please don't leave this broadcast today without getting prayer support. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? I want to give you the Vision greeting. It is the greeting traditionally that we give out with our guest packets, but I want to say it to you from my heart to yours because it is true, even across the lines, even electronically, it is true, that whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. Just like I said before, you are loved. So now I'm going to turn it over to the celebration singers who are going to prepare us to be centered to go to meditation. Thank you so much.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, shall be given unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hi, I am Reverend Patty Paris. I'm the senior minister here at Vision. I am a licensed practitioner as well. Of course we are. All ministers are practitioners. What I would like you to do right now is to take these quotes into your heart as we move into the silence and just allow the tones of the bowl to bring you into and out of our 5-minute meditation. The first quote is from Carl Sagan. The desire to be connected with the cosmos reflects a profound reality. But we are connected, not in trivial ways that astrology promises, but in the deepest ways. And the second quote is from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, who says, "I love my past and my future, and understand that they are but continuations of one unbroken chain of life." I know that there is one life. It is God's life. It is God's life being, living through each and everything. From the blade of grass to the leaves on the trees, to the birds flying overhead and the fish swimming in the ocean. I know it is just one life. I know behind the diversity, behind the incredible diversity on this planet, is the one energy which we call God. And it is absolutely making itself known as all life everywhere. Everything that we see and look upon, everything that we interact with, we know is some aspect of this one life, which is spirit. It is whole, perfect, and complete, containing all of the qualities of God, from abundance, balance, and beauty to freedom, joy, order, peace, power, love, unity, wisdom, wholeness. Everything that we think of as spirit is flowing through everything in the manifest universe, because we are all made of the same stuff. There is only one substance, one source, one power and presence in the universe, and we know this as spirit. And we know spirit loves everything into existence. We know that as an energy, that it inhabits form and abandons form all the time, that it is forever changing, that it is that dynamic process of life itself. And yet, beyond all of the change, behind all of the temporal life, we know eternal life. We know that spirit is forever assuming roles and assuming forms and then abandoning them. And yet that eternalness of God is behind everything. The one life, the one constant, is spirit. And we know it as joy and love and peace and power. And we know that we are some part of that one life. And we know as we embody, embrace, and accept, we demonstrate those qualities as well as us, through us, into the world. So we become the place where the peace of God shows up in form. We become the place where the love of spirit is demonstrated in the world. We absolutely let those qualities flow through us into the world, changing the conditions around us. So I know that higher truth, that God is all there is. I know that we are one with that, as that. I know that as we allow that energy to flow through us and as us into the world, we change the conditions not only of our own lives, but of the lives of people around us. We are the love, we are the joy that will lift the planet. We are the unity, we are the love that will change conditions around us. We know that prayer changes things. We know we are one with all of life. And as we remember who we are and whose we are that channel for good in the world. So lifting us all higher than ever before, knowing our oneness and proceeding as such, we just simply give thanks and we allow it to be. Knowing and accepting that absolute manifestation of energy as us in life on earth, we just let it be. We know the law has taken these words and run with them already. I give great thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Hi Vision, it's Karl Anthony and I miss you. I know that we're all going to get together again very soon, but until we do that, I get to sing with you this way. I have two songs I'm going to sing for you today. One is called Open My Eyes, and the other one is called I Am Who I Am. I know you're holding up well, I'm sure of it. I know you're taking care of each other, and I also know we're all looking forward to getting together again soon. Have a beautiful Sunday and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. This song is called Open My Eyes. It's more of a chant, so you can sing it to yourself, or you can sing it out loud. Just repeat after me. Open my eyes, let in the light again. Open my eyes, light again. Open my eyes, fill them with joy again. Open my eyes, fill them with joy again. Heal my heart, let me begin again. Heal my heart, let me begin again. Open my eyes, open my eyes again. Open my eyes, open my eyes. Take a deep breath, breathe in the strength again. Take a deep breath, breathe in the strength again. Open my eyes, open my eyes again. Open my eyes, open my eyes. Heal my heart, let me begin again. Heal my heart, let me begin again. Open my eyes, open my eyes again. Open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes again. Open my eyes, open my eyes.
Hello, good souls of vision. I'm Maggie Whitehouse, and I'm sure I've been more than adequately introduced to you. We met 18 months ago now when I came to San Diego, and it was lovely to meet all of you, and I wish I could meet you directly again, but hey, here we are. So, the Tapestry of Life is our talk. Now, you'll see behind me there are two diagrams. These are known as the Tree of Life and Jacob's Ladder. The one here is Jacob's Ladder. Not quite sure which direction to go in there. And they are to do with Kabbalah, the Jewish mystical tradition that I've studied for the last quarter century, and now teach. And they are a loom, or a scaffolding, or a skeleton on which the weave of creation is made. And in a way, they're the blueprint for creation. They're part of the patterns of the universe. The whole of the universe is a mathematical thing, which is terrifying for me because I'm rubbish at maths. But once you understand these two diagrams, and don't worry, I'm not going to be telling you that much about them today, so you don't have to worry about it. Once you understand these two diagrams, you actually see that the weave is everywhere, in all of creation, in humanity, in nature, in the planet, in the solar system, in the universe itself. The one that side, no, that side. I keep doing this in the mirror. This one is the whole of the universe in creation, and you can see that it's very similar to DNA. And the point of it is that once there's a scaffolding or a loom, you can start to learn how the weave of life works. And I want to start off by reading you a couple of texts. One is very modern, one is very ancient. But the Jacob's Ladder issue diagram here is also a diagram of the first temple, the Hebrew temple, and the 4 levels in the temple of earth, water, air and fire. Each one of those had an archangel allotted to it. So each court of the temple, the white was the Holy of Holies, the blue was the court of the priests, the purple below the blue was the court of the women, where all the families went, the actual people who were part of Israel. And the red one was the court of the Gentiles, where anybody, whether you were Jewish or not, could attend. By the way, if you hear some odd noises in the background, we've got a new dog, so she's not very used to my filming stuff, and she may jump up or squeak. So please, well, adore her if you want to, or ignore her. So this weave of life is fourfold, and you find it throughout the Bible in these 4 colours and these 4 patterns. And there's no coincidence that there are 4 Gospels. The 4 Gospels are very distinct. There's the 3 synoptics, which are the 3 lower worlds on Jacob's Ladder, and the top one, which is the Gospel of John, which is the divine. So Matthew is the Gospel of physical nature, physical genealogy of Jesus. That's the one that has the lineage of Joseph, even though Jesus is born of Mary and the Holy Spirit. The Gospel of Luke is the one that's purple, the psychological one. It shows how Jesus is developing as a human into the messianic presence that he became. The Gospel of Luke is the spiritual one, the area of air, and Luke is outside the tribe. Both Matthew and Mark are quite tribal Gospels, but Luke rises above the tribe, and you can tell that by all the teachings that Jesus has about the women. There are 19 teachings about women in the Gospel of Luke, and only 4 or 5 in the other Gospels. And the Gospel of John is the Gospel of the divine, where Jesus takes on the mantle of Christ. Christ, to the mystic, to the Kabbalist, is not totally associated with Jesus. Christ is creation. It's the only begotten of the divine, which is the whole pattern of creation. And in the Gospel of John, Jesus is speaking as the only begotten, as creation itself, as the cosmic force of life, chi you might want to call it, and creation. It was personified in Jesus and may well have been personified in other souls as well. But Christ is bigger. And Jesus makes that very clear when he says in the Gospel of John, when he's speaking the great I am phrases, the 7 I am phrases. I am the way, the truth, the life. I am the resurrection. I am the good shepherd. And in all of these times, he says, ego eimi, I am, which is the ultimate name of the divine given to Moses in Exodus. I am. And he says, before Abraham was, I am, which means that the Christos existed before Abraham. The Christos goes back to the very beginning of creation. And in the prologue to the Gospel of John, Jesus is described as the Word. In the beginning was the Word. But a better translation of the Greek logos is blueprint. So the Christ is the blueprint of all creation. And these 2 diagrams are scaffolding of the blueprint. They're nothing to do with any religion, although Kabbalah has been kept very safe within Judaism. So I want to read you a couple of passages to talk about patterns, tapestry, how we build a tapestry onto these diagrams. And we are a tapestry ourselves. We've all got skeletons. The human skeleton is very similar to every mammalian skeleton, and even the skeletons of reptiles. We've got the front legs, the hind legs, the backbone, the head, and we've also got the tail, the coccyx in humanity. So we're all the same scaffolding. It's what is woven onto it and into it, which is important. This is a lovely poem by Mother Mary Clare of the Sisters of the Love of God. This is an Anglican convent in the United Kingdom. And she writes, "We must try to understand the meaning of the age in which we are called to bear witness. We must accept the fact that this is an age in which the cloth is being unwoven. It's therefore no good trying to patch. We must rather set up the loom on which coming generations may weave new cloth according to the pattern God provides." And that, I think, is one of the reasons why so much teaching of ancient days is coming forward again. We're re-embracing shamanism. We're even re-embracing witchcraft. I do a regular podcast with our local witch. We call it Wise Women, the Vicar and the Witch. And Susie Crockford and I pretty much agree on absolutely everything when you get down to understanding the language, the weave of the words that we use. She would call the divine the Great Mother. I might call it the Great Father, but we both understand that this is a weaving of the divine masculine and feminine working together. Now, there's plenty of weaving in the Bible. There's plenty of weaving in the mystical texts. And it's really important to understand that this weave is an aspect of the divine feminine. The beginning of the Bible in Genesis, it's quite clear that it's the Elohim who creates the heavens and the earth. And Elohim is a feminine noun with a masculine plural ending. We don't actually know exactly what was intended in those days because the Hebrew Bible is now set in stone. There's only one text in Hebrew from which all the Jewish nation works. It was formulated after the diaspora at the end of the Jewish nation when the Romans sacked the temple and the Jewish folk started to leave the Holy Land. I've lost my train of thought there, but I'm going to keep on going with it and see how we go. But this weave is there all the way through, and it is linked to the feminine. In fact, Origen, one of the early church fathers who believed in the pre-existence of souls and therefore was made anathema in about the 5th century, but is now studied again, all this old stuff, good stuff coming out again. He was looking at the Septuagint, which is an earlier version of the Hebrew Testament, but written in Greek. And he said one of the valid translations of the first line, which we have in the Hebrew as "in the beginning the Elohim created the heavens and the earth." He says a valid translation from the Greek, which is an earlier text, is "by means of the net or the web, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth." So again, that's this idea of a scaffolding or a tapestry. And Jewish mysticism calls this the Pargod. We might call it the Akashic record, but the Pargod is the tapestry of creation. And every single life, not just a human life, maybe aliens as well, we don't know. We really don't know how many folk of any persuasion there may be in the universe. But every one of us is a thread in that tapestry. And if a thread breaks, then the weave of that tapestry is affected. And when a thread breaks, other threads about it are weakened and may also break. So that's why everything that we do matters. If you've read the book Cloud Atlas or seen the movie, there's a wonderful scene at the end when the disbelieving slave trader says to his son-in-law, who's planning to work for the emancipation of slavery, the son says, "I want to do everything I can," and the father-in-law says, "Everything you do will just be a drop in the ocean." And the son-in-law replies, "Yes, but what is the ocean but a multitude of drops?" So never doubt that every time you pick up a piece of litter, every time you do a bit of recycling, every time you buy from a local shop instead of buying something encased in plastic from the supermarket, it counts. Also, what counts is every time that we don't. So every action we take matters to the tapestry of creation. Everything matters. You matter. Every decision you make matters. When I was married to a Jewish guy many years ago, we used to do the Sabbath Eve service. And that's where the woman, the feminine, a man can do it, but he uses the feminine aspect in him, lights the light to draw down Shekinah, the presence of the divine into the home. And only the feminine can do that. That is the receptive aspect of all of us. If you want to refer to it as yin and yang, that's probably much better, because the feminine is in men and women, as in the masculine is in women and men. It isn't the feminine is a woman and the masculine is a man. We're far more complex than that. And we're beginning to see that in the new weave of the world, with transgender folk and more gay folk coming forward, and all this gender fluidity, which to us may seem very strange, but to the Native Americans wasn't. Some of the tribes had up to 12 genders for folk, because they knew that each individual was a weave of their own. We got very, very closed down at the time of what's called the Enlightenment. Interesting irony, the name of the Enlightenment, when science and rationality became far more important than mysticism. And science and rationality, well, they're very good, that's absolutely fine, but they're only one side of the cosmic pattern. The weave, the mysticism, is the other side of the cosmic pattern. And if you look at the Tree of Life and Jacob's Ladder, you'll see there's a central column, and there are two side columns, and the side columns have to be brought together in the central column to make the weave balanced. And the Enlightenment unbalanced the weave. It brought a lot of good things in, but it also brought this idea that the mystic teaching is not true. The mystic teaching is the perennial truth. It's the allegory in the story, the weave of life. And you can see that all the way through the Hebrew and the New Testaments. You don't necessarily take them literally. The literal interpretation would be the physical one. There's also the allegory, which is the psychological one, the spiritual weave, which is the metaphysical one, and the divine weave, which is the mystical one. So we're not meant to read the Bible on one level. We're meant to weave our understanding through it. And this quotation that my Jewish husband used to read to me after I'd lit the lights in honor of the Sabbath on a Friday night is from the book of Proverbs, and it's about the divine feminine. It's about the divine feminine in a human woman, but the divine feminine can also be in a human man as well. So this is the reading that a husband would read to his wife after she had lit the candles, and before he then had blessed the wine and the bread. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. A woman of worth who can find, for her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he shall have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. This is the weave. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She rises when it's still dark and sets forth provision for her household and their portion for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hand she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength and makes good her arms. She perceives that her earnings are good. Her lamp goes not out by night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yes, she puts her hands to the needy. She's not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes for herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is linen and purple. Let me just stop there. White linen. I can't get this right. White linen and purple, and covers herself with tapestry. This is a metaphor for clothing herself in all of the patterns of creation. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them. That means she brings through the divine, the white, the clear light of the divine, and passes them on. She delivers girdles to the merchant. Strength and majesty are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the law of loving kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household. That's all of her own psyche as well as her household, because this is a metaphor. She looks well to the ways of her habits and the way she lives in the world. And she eats not the bread of idleness. Her children, her projects rise up and call her blessed, her husband too, and he praises her, saying, many daughters have done worthily, but you excel them all. Favor is false and beauty is vain, but a woman who respects and loves the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. So as you can see, the metaphor of weaving goes through these texts, and you can find it if you're looking for it in the Bible. And it's the weave of how the divine holds all of creation together. And our part as that thread in the tapestry is so important. When we talk of Mary, mother of Jesus, there's the infancy gospel of Philip, which is one of the Nag Hammadi scrolls, which says that Mary was weaving in the temple when the archangel Gabriel came to her. The infancy gospel says that Mary was known as a pure and cleansed woman. The word virgin, Parthenon, just means a woman of great purity, and that she was raised in the temple up until puberty, when it was known that she was going to have a special work to do, which was become the mother of Jesus, who personified the Christ. But she was weaving. So the divine feminine is always about the weaving of the pattern of life. And once we know that there's a pattern, once we understand that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, which is Isaac Newton, one of the founders of the Enlightenment, of course, it wasn't all bad. We have to get this balance between the rational and the mystical, holding them together in the center. And basically what I'm going to do for the rest of my time is tell you stories about this pattern of creation and how I've experienced them in my life. And in a way, it's to teach us how this law of attraction that we're so often taught about works. Because how we hold ourselves, how we present ourselves, how we live our life sends a message up into spirit. And spirit matches it. It matches our emotions and our thoughts, because spirit and the physical world are reflections of thoughts and feelings. We are children of the Creator. We co-create. When it comes to nature, and that's incredibly important at the moment, my bishop has just written a new book called Restoring Eden, which is how to work with the spirits of nature. I really recommend it. It's absolutely amazing. It's only just published, so I don't know if you can find it on Amazon yet, but I do recommend it. He talks about how you re-establish the relationship with nature spirits. Now, this is a bishop. This is a Christian bishop. So the weave is coming back of melding, if you want to call the witchcraft or the shamanism of the land, with the spirituality of faith. Because the earth is our mother. The earth is a sentient being. The earth has her own angel, and all around creation are angels, devas, and nature spirits. And they are the ones that create the growth and the dieback of nature. Every single herb, every single plant has its own fairy. There's a bit in the Talmud, the commentary on the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, that says that every single plant has a little spirit urging it to grow, grow, grow. For us, that would be our guardian angel. And these spirits are of all different sizes and shapes. And if you've ever heard of a place called Findhorn in Scotland, that's where 3 people, Peter and Eileen Caddy, and a lady called Dorothy, whose surname I've forgotten for the moment, but I'm sure you can look her up, all went to a very rough, barren part of Scotland and created a spiritual centre. And they created it by speaking with the nature divas. And this is what we need to do to reclaim our world. The problems with climate change can not only be addressed by fewer bits of plastic or by casting out less pollution, they can be healed by our talking to spirit, which weaves this creation. We aren't talking to the divas. We aren't talking to the fairies. We aren't talking to the pixies or the gnomes. We aren't communicating with them anymore. Therefore, as our neglect adds to our greed, the planet becomes depleted. But we can talk to them. We can reweave everything on our planet by invoking and blessing the spirits. Last time I spoke to you, I was on Dartmoor, and I talked to you a little bit about this, but it's so important. It's so important. Every morning when you get up, when you look out of the window or go outside, say good morning to the Great Mother, the great creative force. The Great Mother is the aspect of the divine that created. Yahweh, the God that we know of, only turns up in the 2nd chapter of Genesis when humanity is created. And I don't think that the Elohim was just wasting her time knitting, well, knitting of course is a form of weaving, before humanity turned up. No, she was totally involved in creation itself. And each level of creation has its own divas. So your area, wherever you live, will have an overarching angel. The Japanese call them the kami, the angel, the presence, the divine presence of an area. Every tree has a naiad or spirit. Every river has a dryad or spirit. So all these different grades of creation, creatures, spiritual creatures are out there, and they will listen to us and they will speak to us, because all the angels understand that we are co-creators with the divine. They listen and they do what we tell them. They provide our food for us willingly. So how we respond to that on the tapestry of creation is by honouring what's known as the honourable harvest. Another book I heartily recommend to you is Braiding Sweetgrass. Again, I can't remember the name of the author. Oh, should have looked that up before I turned up, shouldn't I? Braiding Sweetgrass, you can find it. It's by a lady who's a PhD in botany and also a Native American. And she has talked about the honourable harvest, and this is so valuable. Basically, you never take anything without appreciation. And of course, in Christianity and in many other faiths, this is about blessing our food. We don't realise that all this stuff that sometimes seems to be such boring, we have to thank God for everything. Why do we have to thank God for everything? It's about actually appreciating the fact that this planet and the very air we breathe gives to us unceasingly. The sun never comes up and says, you owe me. And we don't have to thank, but it's good for us to thank, because it means we start to be in communion with nature and communion with the divine at all different levels. So the way to honour the honourable harvest, which is the reweaving of creation, is to thank. If you pick blackberries, leave a few grains of oatmeal on the ground in reciprocation. That's the honourable harvest. When you gather, ask whether the fruit or the vegetables are ready to be picked. And start getting your weave of consciousness so that you ask a plant if you may pick it and listen. It'll take a little while probably, but actually the spirit of that plant will say to you, yes, you may take me, or no, I'm not ready. Please try this. It's magical. To start with, you probably won't hear, but if you pull something up, you'll soon get the inkling if it was ready or not, because you'll get the aftermath of it being pulled up. Either there'll be pleasure, because it's going to its purpose, which is to feed animals and humans, or there will be a slight knockback feeling that it wasn't ready to come. You'll be absolutely amazed when you try this. Also, what you do is you never take the first fruits, and you never take the last fruits. So, for example, we're just past the blackberrying time, and it's fall time, so there's not that much to pick. But if you come upon an apple tree, you don't take the first fruit you see. You ask permission and take some of the other fruit you see, and you never denude the whole apple tree. You allow the apple tree to feed the others. I've done some foraging this year. I've been picking a plant called Self-Heal and another one called Plantain, and been making a healing salve, which is very good for insect bites. And when I first went looking for Self-Heal, I went out on dog walks and looked for it absolutely everywhere, and then I found one plant and I remembered not to pick that plant, even though I wanted to. Went on walking, didn't find any other plants, was really disappointed, but held to it, because taking that first plant is symbolically unweaving. Unweaving. So didn't do that, and What I did do instead was come right home and find that self-heal grew in my very own garden. That is the way God connects with us. You go looking, believing and honouring, and the divine repays. If you go angry and grasping and grabbing, wanting more, then anger and grasping and grabbing will come back to you. So let us follow the honourable harvest. Let us heal our beautiful planet. Let us honour God herself, the Elohim, the creatrix of the universe, by following the honourable harvest. So that's your homework for the week. Thank you so much for listening to me. We didn't actually get to too many stories, but I think you're probably done. We've had enough. So follow the honourable harvest. When you shop, choose the second packet, not the first one, just to teach you. Carry just a little bag in your pocket. And there's my phone, which is telling me exactly that it's time to stop. Thank you. God bless you all. And it's a delight to speak with you again. And I hope we'll get to speak in future. Bye-bye.
You know I care about you, I hope you care about me. Let's sing together, set our mind free. Let you know who I am. I believe we can see the future, whatever we plan. Say I am who I am because of what I put into my mind. I can change who I am by what I put into my mind. I wanna hear your truth, what bothers you. Don't try to fake it, whatever you do, you got to give up the fuss, begin to trust your heart, your mind. I know you stand tough, I know you stand tough, I know you stand tough. Say I am who I am because of what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into my mind. Come on. I am who I am because of what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into my mind. Whoa. Do you believe in love? Don't come from up above and come from mother, father, sister, brother. I think it's all around and it helps the ups and downs. It's your vibration, it's every little sound. Say I am who I am because of what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I am who I am because of what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into my mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into mind. Oh yeah, I can change who I am by what I put into my mind.
Thank you, Karl Anthony. That was wonderful. And just like you, I look forward to the time when we can be back together in the same room and listen to you live. It'll be so wonderful. And a big thank you to Maggie Whitehouse. She always comes to us and gives us so much to think about and educates us. And I just love that. You give us so much. You go so deep and you give us so much to think about. Thank you. And again, you know, when we're all allowed to travel again, I look forward to seeing you in person and just getting one of those Maggie hugs. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. And now it is time for our conscious circulation. So if you are consciously giving to those people, places, and things, those spiritual places that support you, if vision is that place, this is the time to turn your attention to that. Whether you're writing a check or whether your bank is, you're giving online or just whatever, however you are doing it, we know and accept that when we bring our attention to that, that's what grows in our lives. So when you are tithing, when you are giving and donating to those places that spiritually support you, that is the consciousness that you are growing in. The idea that you are in the abundance of spirit, that you are standing, in the river of God's abundance and absolutely in the flow. So if you are giving today, thank you so much. We so appreciated it. It keeps us doing what we do here at Vision. So let us go within right here, right now, and know that God is all there is. Just like we have been speaking, we know this cosmic connection is the truth of us, that we are united. We are one in that spirit. We know and accept that there is no division, there is no separation, that there is only one life. It is God's life. It is our life right here and right now. And the abundance of God, the quality of God known as abundance, flows through us and as us into the world. We do indeed stand in the river of God's abundance, open-hearted and open-handed. We accept gratefully, we give graciously, we remain in the flow always, knowing and accepting that there is infinite abundance all around us. I give great thanks for the good of God, knowing it flows freely through the life of each one of us. And so it is. Amen.
More than
welcome back. So now is time for our Miracle Minute, and I wanted to share a Miracle Minute that I got in an email this week. And comes from Donna, who said that she had a prayer on her heart and in her mind that she does the best that she can. She works to the best of her ability at her job, and that was her prayer. And she just got a raise. Not even anticipated, not even asked for, but she was given a raise spontaneously. So that for Donna it was answered prayer, and I do believe it is. And she wanted us to also know that the job itself, the job that she has, was answered prayer from 15 months ago. So it's an answered prayer on top of an answered prayer. I love that. So please keep sending those Miracle Minutes in so I can tell them to you, so we can share them. We can share in the good, and knowing and accepting that prayer is always answered. It is always answered. So we know prayer changes things. Keep those demonstrations of answered prayer coming so that I can talk about yours next week. Wouldn't that be lovely? And now it is time for The Last Word by Johnny Kirko. Here's Johnny.
Thank you, Reverend Patty. Here's Johnny. He is here, and he's loving you guys. So we are continuing our Vision virtual meet and greet. Join us via Zoom. You can check into some of your other Vision friends and family, and we'd love to see you. We also have practitioners available for prayer. So join us right after this celebration. There should be a link right there on Facebook, or I sent you an email. Or if you want to know about it and you don't, email me. I'll send it to you. It's jkirko@visioncsl.com. So starting tomorrow, we are starting a daily, program called Coffee Connection. This is going to be with Reverend Lori Sheets, and it's via Zoom. We'll be doing it at 8:30 in the morning, and you can find the link for that on our website as well. It's on our calendar, and you can click on that. And what we're doing in that is we're just connecting. We're just saying hi, checking in, seeing how things are going. So if you want to be a part of that, it'll be every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning. Come in, get your coffee, say hi, and spend some time again with your community. We continue doing our uplifts. Those are at 1 o'clock for your midday break. Reverend Patty will be leading most of those, and we also have some of our practitioners and other guests who come in to spend time with us. 1 o'clock Pacific time. Join us for that. You can see us on Facebook or on our website. We're available in both places. Want to mention we've got a concert coming up this month. Andy and Nathan are going to be back. They'll be back at the end of the month, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. We are going to continue doing concerts and stuff like that, so we want to entertain you while we're still all at home. So next week, Reverend Patty Paris will be back. Yay, Reverend Patty. She was here anyway. She's always here. Even when she's not talking, she's here. Don't I? We love that. Anyway, her talk title is You, Me, and Thee. And we have a very special guest singer, Amy Bishop. Amy Bishop's coming from Canada, up in Vancouver, I think. And she's really well known. I know that Reverend Jean and Michael Powers love her a lot. But she's going to be our first time singing with us. She goes to a lot of the CSL conventions and stuff. Very spiritual. Can't wait to have her. She plays guitar. Good stuff. Also next week, we're doing our very first online Chamber of Prayer. So what we're going to be doing with that is just like we used to do right here at Vision, where you were at the location and you would sit in the front row here and then you'd go into the back room. We're going to do something similar where you'll go into Zoom and then you'll go into the Zoom room and be prayed up with all of our pracs. Spend some time with that. That's going to be really cool. We're going to do that for 2 weeks in a row. So next week's the first week. So you'll find links and stuff on that next week as we get going on that. So thank you. Love you. See ya.
Okay, so now is the time. I know you've been sitting there, you've been enjoying the talk and the music, so now is your time to get up and get active. We're going to be doing our affirmations. I want you to stand up wherever you are. Just stand up. You're going to ground in the truth of these. You are just going to connect with the energy of the earth and the energy of the cosmos. You're just going to be that connection in the world, and you're going to speak your truth because these affirmations are passionate, present tense, purposeful. They're just for you. So let's say them together. I know they're up on the screen now, right? Yes, they are. Yay. Okay, so you standing? You ready? Okay, good. I am uniquely myself, and I honor the uniqueness of others. My light shines upon the world and everyone I encounter. Everything and everyone in my life has purpose. Okay, think about them. Which one do you like? Which one do you like better? I know, it's number one. I get it. Let's say number one again. I am uniquely myself, and I honor the uniqueness of others. And we do. We absolutely do. We are just all such beautiful and brilliant gems in that net, right? An Indra's net of all life. So just think about that. Think about the uniqueness of you, the facets of your likes and dislikes just shining out, reflecting yourself into the universe, and each one of us doing the same thing. Let us go within for prayer one more time here this morning, knowing and accepting that God is all there is. Each one of us is an individualization of that one life. Like Rev Maggy has said, a thread in the tapestry of all life. And our thread is unique and different and so beautiful. Just us, and each and every one of us, different, unique, lovely colors, lovely thoughts, lovely beliefs, and yet each one of us necessary to the beauty of the whole tapestry. I give great thanks for this time spent together. I know and accept we are one. Across the miles, across the universe, we are one. Giving great thanks, I simply let it be, and so it is. See you next time. Bye-bye.